So onto the dashboard. So before I start putting all the bits and pieces in there, I need to create a glove box. There was a lid for it before, a door front for it, but there was no actual box. So you put anything in the glove box, it just falls straight through the bottom of the dashboard. So that's what this here is supposed to be. Fabulous piece of construction work from me, fabrication. So yeah, that should be about the right size, hopefully. So now I just need to wrestle it in there. But the plan is to have a modern-ish stereo in the glove box. So I need to make sure I've got space for that too. Just thought I'd show you this. So this is the hinge for the glove box. So that's the back of the hinge that no one sees. So that's the part. This is what the whole thing looked like before I started. And then the bit that you do see, I've managed to really nicely clean up. It was wire wheel and of course anisole and wire wool. Right, so I made a real mess of the wiring in here, but I have managed to hook up my stereo in the glove box. I need to also sort out the glove box lid as that doesn't screw in properly just yet, but coming out of my Pioneers nicely. Yeah, very pleased with that. Cool. So the last couple of times I've been here to do some work on the car, I've not bothered videoing anything. So what I'm trying to do at the moment is get the dashboard back together again. As we can see, I've got a fair bit of progress here. I think I did show you the stereo that's in there. I've put the original stereo back in. That's not connected to anything, so that's just there for looks. You know, it's part of the look of the dashboard, which I think is really nice. These kind of what do we call those, trims, bezels, those I did have those in the original car, but they had quite a bit of surface rust on them, so when I tried to rub them down with wire wool, it was taking the black paint off the middle. So although I tried to put the black paint back on, I tried a few different methods, you could never get it looking nice. So I decided to raise the white flag and just buy some new ones, so they look pristine. So they're going in. So also I did a bit of work on the instrument bezel. So there was still a bit of surface rust on the black in the background. So I took that apart again. I did a bit of work on this in the summer to make sure it was sort of mechanically working, but it just didn't look very nice. So I took all that apart, rubbed that down, put some rust converter on it, and then sprayed it matte black. So that looks superb now. I also changed the little, you can see the red one there. The coloured gels that go in the backs of these. So the greens for the indicators and then the reds. All of them were cracked, and certainly the generator light, which is that one there, had gone completely. So that was just a hole. So yeah, I've replaced those, and of course given it a good polish with wire wool and anisole. And so now it's looking good. I need to put it back into here. There's a bit of a spaghetti of wiring here. I just wanted to make sure all of the lights actually worked, because a lot of them I've never actually seen work. So I've had to change a few bulbs here. Some of them seem to work without being grounded to anything. Others do need to be additionally grounded. So as long as this bezel being, or this instrument panel being wedged into the dashboard is adequate grounding, then it should work. If it's not, then they won't. There's a whole bunch of the lights there that require a good grounding. So let's see what it's like. But at the moment I know all of the light bulbs here now work, and all of the cables have power. So yeah, that is a step forward. Okay, that's got it pretty much screwed in for now. There we go. We've got the indicator lights working nicely. They never worked before, so really pleased with those. I've also got, if you put the high beam on, you see in the middle you get the little Chevrolet logo comes on to tell me that the high beam is on. So I started to get the feeling that I was approaching the last few jobs on the car, and thought what I'll do is I'll write these down just so I can be sure of where I'm up to, and make sure I don't miss anything, and make sure I do things in the right order. So in writing them down, of course, you end up then with a much longer list than you thought was likely. So anyway, this is not going to be an exhaustive list. I think this whole experience has told me, as you start to complete jobs or even get into doing jobs, you discover other jobs that you didn't realise were jobs, so your jobs list gets longer as you tackle it. But anyhow, so I think if we got all of this stuff done, I think that would be certainly good for what I've got in mind as far as taking the car out in the spring and using it quite regularly. So right now it's Valentine's Day, February. It's still very wet outside here, and there's still plenty of salt on the road, so I'm not beating myself up over not having the car available to drive just yet. But you know, jump ahead another month, 6 weeks, I would like to be able to take it out. Anyhow, so what have we got? So replace the horns. So I've bought some replacement horns. If you've been paying attention, one of the horns doesn't work, so I've sort of tried to find one replacement horn, and it's just as same price pretty much to just buy some new reproduction horns. So I'll replace those. That's not a big job. Attached steering wheel and the horn ring. So I've got steering wheel is down there, and the horn ring is somewhere. That I think I might better do fairly soon. Renovate the sun visors and replace the sun visors. So the sun visors should obviously, they should be above the at the front of the roof. I took those off to renovate them because they were all of the covering that was there before was gone, so you were just down to hardboard and broken hardboard. So yeah, I've taken those out. I will be renovating those. Then we've got correct the rear quarter trims. So at the moment I've put these sort of trims in the corners, but they're only screwed in at the bottom. I've sort of lost the screw holes for the top, so I need to do a proper job of that. Replace the driver glass. So yeah, I don't know if I really filmed much of this, but the glass in the driver's door was really badly shattered. I mean, obviously the back door glass is badly shattered with the bullet hole, but I don't know, this feels relatively secure. I'm less fussed about that. It's kind of quite cool that it's got a bullet hole in it. This glass was in real danger of just falling out if I went over a big bump, so that needed to be replaced. So I've got a piece of replacement glass cut. I couldn't get double glazed glass in this particular size, but what I've got here is toughened glass. So at some point I'll need to replace that, so that can go in. What have we got? Sound deaden the doors. So all the sound deadening I've put in the floor, I need to also put some inside the doors. I haven't done that yet. That's obviously not that big a job. Door inspection plates. So these holes here, I have plates that I took out. For those, they need to go back in. In fact, they're still at home, so I need to bring those in here. Door cards installed. So I've made all of the door cards months ago. There's just been no point in installing those anytime soon because, you know, they're final finish things. So if I'm still clambering in and out of the car and they're in place, I'm just going to end up getting them dirty or knackering them. So yeah, I'm leaving that purposely till quite late on. Finished making the kick panels. So these are Down there in the corners, both sides, I've sort of got some, they're called kick panels. So yeah, they're basically pieces of, I think originally they were cardboard, but I've made some hardboard kick panels, and they'll need to be sort of wrapped in the same faux leather as the door cards. Tidy all the cables. So yeah, at the moment I've got a spaghetti of cables coming from underneath the dash and going down the channels just inside the doors. So yeah, I need to tidy that all up. Clean the seats. So the seats haven't been in this car for a long time. That's the back panel of the back seat and the whole front bench seat. They all need to be cleaned and tidied up. Install carpet. That's not a quick job. That, although I've had the carpet for months, it's in a box that it arrived in. I think all the indications are that's at least a solid day's work to put that in. So we'll see about that. Install seat belts. I do want to put seat belts in this. It didn't come with seat belts. Yeah, I've bought the seat belts. I just need to install them. They need to be bolted into the floor pan of the car. Install wing mirrors. So the car came with one wing mirror. I've bought a second one, so I need to put on the old one and then actually screw in the new one. Secure the rear emblems. So there's this Bel Air emblem, and there's also like an extra emblem that goes in the back there. This is kind of just wedged in, but it's not secured at the back. So again, if I went over a big bump, I think it might fall off. So I need to make sure those are properly secured. Add exhaust hangers. So the new exhaust that I put on, I've noticed there's still a little bit too much movement in it, so I need to add an extra couple of exhaust hangers. I've got those. I just, the car's been on the ground for a long time, so I want to get to a point where I can put it up on stands or something before I can do that. So yeah, that'll be a bit of a finishing job. Check the diff oil. So in the rear axle has the diff in the middle of it. I've got some diff oil to put in there. It could be fine, but I just want to make sure it's as full as it should be. Check and fill coolant. So I think from when I've looked in the radiator, the coolant isn't certainly not all the way up. I actually can't see coolant in it, so I need to just double check that. I'm not sure what actually is in it. It might just be water. So I've got a load of proper coolant. So yeah, I probably just need to bleed it all out, flush it through and put in the new coolant. And lastly, attach the wipers, which is, quite frankly, that's a 2-minute job. I'm going to crack on with something, and I might try and get the steering wheel on, I think. So I think I can now just crack on with putting the steering wheel on. Now I think the wheels, to my eye, look like they're pointing straight forward. Likely going to be some points here where the horn sounds. I think that dude goes in there. Oh no, he's in. That it? Oh, hello. Hello there. This piece goes over. So I think the idea is that when you press the horn ring on here, this piece of metal is concave. So I think as you press it, it sort of pops in and completes the circuit. Right. I think he goes in there. I think that chap goes. How good is that? That's brilliant. There we go. So that looks fantastic. I've got my centerpiece back on. There should be this little logo, this little Bel Air V8 logo That should fit on there. Unfortunately, when I took it off to paint this centerpiece, I snapped off the little pieces at the back, so I did half intend to just glue it back on, but I know I can get replacements of those, so I think I'm just going to do that. So for now I'll just leave it off, but how good does that look? Works perfectly as well. Fantastic. Although, as I said, we've only got one of the horns is working, so it should have two horns, so it should make a high and a low note. We've only got one. Okay, so let's have a look at replacing these horns. So I think this is the one that doesn't work properly. I think the other one, fair play to him, 70 years old, still doing the biz. So they're pretty damn good reproductions. So something I've just worked out, clearly with these new ones, there's a left and a right, because the brackets are in different places, so the horns both face each other. And the ones I took out, they're both the same. If they did both work, they'd both just be playing the same note. I don't think I had a high and a low. I think I had two lows or two highs or whatever. So, again, we're improving things. Okay, I think that's the lads all buttoned up and wired up, so let's see how we've done. Yes! That's nuts.